That seems a little better, yeah. That seems a little better, yeah. All right. Let's see how this goes. Take my audio down to about the same. Definitely need more screens. Yeah, here we are on Pallegney. Planting a cover per crop so we can plant sorghum come March and April. Still have soybeans and corn to harvest. Spray this field in roll 31, 103, and then 44. We have 6 goats somewhere in this pen. There's one of them. Hey there, little fella. Oh yeah, these guys are making goat milk. We have back at the main farm. We've got 6 dairy cows to start, and some chickens making eggs. This is all going to funnel into farm cheese production that we have right here in the farm. Here, fromage fermiers, the firm Saint-Luc. So, come on in, hang out. We're just gonna chill and farm. See how things go. Most of this is all starting equipment. I did change the John Deere on the map to this Fiat Gari 180 horsepower medium tractor. A pretty sick double front weight. Did also opt in for the Fendt 380 GTA sprayer. Felt pretty authentic to the French map, so also went for a very classy French look with the dapper cap and the nice bright brown boots. So keeping it very French, very Sauvignon Blanc. And we're putting a cover crop in this field because we can't plant sorghum until March or April. So this will keep our soil protected and give us a fertilizer state without having to spray fertilizer. We'll just cultivate the cover crop into the ground before we plant and get a free state of fertilization. Not using precision farming right now. May add it in next go around, and then might turn on the realistic weather mod to add crop moisture and stuff like that. Not sure yet. To make things a little more difficult and drawn out. We are doing real time. We're just doing 1 month, single days. We're somewhere in the neighborhood of 133 mods installed. Nothing real cheaty. It's tempting. We are using a worker currently. We can just open up operations for other stuff. Looks like this guy is done. So I don't know where he's going. Let's get back up to the top here. So we're growing. I think we need to drop fertilizer on this, but we will because this is 50%. Definitely will roll it. I don't know what this fella's doing, so we're gonna go ahead and take over. Get this tractor off the field and put it away. We will fertilize and debating on buying or leasing it. Try not to lease anything, but I did burn through €1 million between starting fields and buying a couple different fields. And buying the goat pen, the dairy cows, and then obviously the equipment we needed between tedder Winneman rower. Do still need a bale wrapper. Bought a planter for the corn and the sorghum. Had to buy a bigger weight for this because this seeder has a planting, or not a planting device, but a cultivating device at the front, which gave it a lot of weight. And I think the rear weights on the wheels make it a little rear heavy, so I had to put an 1,800-pound weight on the front to distribute. Once you put seeds in this thing, you're popping wheelies. So as you can see, you definitely got a lot of weight on the tires, front and back. So might do some playing around with the configuration down the road. But for now, it's working. Because you start with a 900-pound weight, and it's definitely not enough to counteract this setup. So thanks for the follow. We'll definitely add you on Discord. Once I'm done streaming. Alright, so like I said, just kind of chilling. Joins in, wants to chat, go ahead. It's gonna hang out and farm. Do this a couple hours every night just to relax. So by all means, feel free to join, talk, and whatever you see there. Need distribution. Need to adjust for the rear weight system. So I try to play as realistically as possible. Try to only travel 10 kilometers per hour on the field, or 6 miles per hour if we're doing an American map. Try to keep things as realistic as possible. So let's drop this off, drop this weight off, pick up our 900-pound weight, wherever I put that, and go pick up a roller. So drop this guy off in here. I think that 900-pound weight is back here. We do have some crops to sell come January and February. Canola and wheat and some sorghum. We do have some bales I harvested off our grass field, straw, grass itself, hay, and silage to go ahead and make TMR for the cows. It's the preferred feed method. Gets the best production out of them. We do have slurry and manure, which hopefully we'll switch to once we have enough, go to an all-natural production and stop using liquid fertilizer, hopefully, and solid fertilizer. That's the plan, at least, once we have enough of the production. So let's go to the store and get ourselves about 42,000 euro left. Let's see how much this roller costs. I prefer to not to take out a loan for the equipment that we need. I'm not sure. Actually, let's check this video out real quick, actually. This is our grass field. It's not ready to harvest yet. Still growing from the original harvest. We rolled it to give it a 100% fertilized state. Didn't need plowing. The other two fields over there, which have wheat and canola, needed plowing. That sorghum field we were just in some cultivation. So we might need to think about getting a bale wrapper for this field for our silage bales instead of leasing it again. Should have just bought it to begin with, but wanted to make sure I saved up enough money for the planter and the cows and the goats. So we'll see how things shake out here come beginning of next year. So I am playing with a controller. Kind of struggled getting the steering wheel working with the side panel, so just sticking to controller for now. Let's see here. So we're gonna need a weeder as well, because we're gonna not use herbicide with our sprayer. We'll go manual weed removal. We should only have to do it in the cover crop field. Not sure. Shouldn't really matter there actually, so we shouldn't need it this year because it's just a cover crop that we're gonna cultivate back down out in to that field next May, April, May. Okay, so this is way more than what we have, so we'll go ahead and just lease it for now. I do have the financing mod installed, so at some point maybe we'll go down that road. I'd also like to try and avoid that as well. So we'll see how things go. Let's keep it moving. Get our equipment cleaned up here soon. Maybe do some contracts to kill the time while things just grow. Right now, the dairy cattle, eating a meadow. Tear up some straw and spit it down for bedding. The goats are watered and tearing through the meadow for beacons. And that seems to be fine with them for now. Still 100% effective as a feed, but I do have some grass bales I can give them to kind of mix up their feed. So we'll just keep on cooking. Anybody who's watching, just give me any feedback on sound. I'm just going to try and keep these streams simple, nothing crazy. Just want to make sure I'm not making anyone's ears bleed or... Actually, let's back this. Let's take this turn. We need to go all the way through the farm since we're going straight to the fields. I do have a pretty cool nifty mod that turns off the turn signal when you turn, so that's pretty cool. I do like that. That's pretty neat. So we're gonna go ahead and hire up a worker. Maybe we'll manually. Not sure. Let's get a feel. Not a big fan of the new rollers and the way they unfold. Makes them kind of unruly to work with, but easy killer. So we are just gonna hire. Not that problem, guys. So basically, the one thing I don't like about this is that you have to constantly run with it down to move it. Otherwise, you just drag it. Where in 22, the roller stayed up on a set of wheels, which was nice. Made it easy to move around. You didn't have to just constantly keep rolling. I haven't used the other two because I haven't done any massive farms. I haven't really needed anything bigger than this one yet. So, so maybe down the road, if we try like Judith Plains map, which is a 4X map, I do have it installed. Might use a bigger roller, obviously, to speed up field time, because this would take forever with this thing. But not too much we can move on to right now. I have to wait for this guy to be done, because he is my front loader, so he is how I get all my bales moved around, to put it into like my feed mixer, my straw blower. So once this guy's done doing all the rolling on these 3 fields, I'll do some TMR more mixing and drop down a straw bed for the dairy cattle. Actually, can get this guy fertilizing our cover crop. So same thing. This one will actually do ourselves. So fold. Get this guy set up. Do our up and downs first. Okay, and start the spreader. So I guess for the stream, I could turn off the GPS lines to make it look a little more aesthetic, but should give it a try next go around and see what it looks like. Yeah, but like I said, I'm trying to run realistic, so no more than 10 kilometers on the field. Without precision farming, we just laid out an application rate that helps us get to be our second layer of fertilizer on this field, because we already limed and fertilized after we harvested and mulched, and then we cultivated that in and then planted it over top. So yeah, tonight's stream might not be super long. Took me a while to get it set up because I used to use OBS, trying Streamlabs free, since I'm only streaming to Kick and not multiple platforms. So yeah. Kind of curious with this setup what precision farming will look like, because you can set up tram lines, so it should be pretty cool. You know, it's not a big sprayer like you would see going up and down the roads in the United States. That's super tall. It's tempting to drive your car underneath it, in between, like it's the Fast and the Furious. But still got a pretty good. I think it's 21 meter spread, and I think it would just be kind of cool to see what it would look like with tram lines, because you can raise and lower the sprayer nozzles based on your crop height, which is kind of cool. So, only downfall is with this odd size spring, you end up with a super weird overlap on one end of the field. So, you kind of waste some fertilizer, but you can adjust the width. Breaking my own rule here, driving too fast. So on that side, we'll try and shrink down the width on the boom, so we're only using so many nozzles to spray. So we shouldn't have too much waste. And this thing's only got about 480 liters left in it, because there's a tank on the back, and then the whole front piece is the tank. But I burned up a lot on the other two fields I fertilized. So, anyways, we'll get going here. Check back on our roller guy in a second. Move him over to the canola field. Get him cooking over there. And then we'll get to making some feed for the cattle and a bed for the cattle. So, lock in our GPS, fire up our unit, and go ahead and run. So, finish up with our headlands here, and then bring this guy home, get it parked up, washed off, and then through the winter we'll get some more liquid fertilizer, because I'm not 100% sure that I'll have enough slurry of manure next year to be able to fully fertilize the fields. And I'm pretty sure, like, we might be able to sell the slurry and use the manure, or one or the other. I know that there really isn't like a lime replacement in the game yet. I know digestate would be the closest, but I don't think it works the same. But we'll find out. Maybe it does. Maybe it does. Affects the pH like lime does. We'll see. I mean, worst case, doesn't. Yeah, we sell it. I mean, but to make digestate, I think it has to go to the biogas plant as manure and slurry, and that's the byproduct from the biogas plant, which I think we'd have to own to get. So we'll see how that plays out. It's kind of a little bit by ear thing. I'm not super familiar with, and I'll really finish that feed. So actually, before we start this, let's jump over here, start this guy up, creep our way out of this field, do some extra rolling for no reason, just because it's easier than dragging this thing and leaving some ugly marks in the field. I do try to use all the field entrances as well without cutting. Just depends on how I'm feeling. Sometimes I get froggy, just drive like a wild man. So the more you hang out here, the more you'll get to learn my play styles. It's a little bit all over the place, but I like to try to be realistic. So So now with the wheels off to get up and down here, you should be able to do this without making any marks. Excuse me. So, seems like a silly little thing just to get over to this field, but that's the way it goes. This guy's gonna need some maintenance and fuel water here. Get this thing folded again. Just set course, hire a worker. Jump back over to this guy. Start spraying. This is a pretty cool map. I like it a lot so far. I have a soft spot for European maps for some reason. You'd think I'd love giant American maps, which I do, but small farms really get me. I just like the feel. And the European maps have a really cool style. So, and I think M870 did a good job on this map, bringing it back from FS22, which I didn't get to play it there, so it's kind of cool to be able to jump in and experience it in the new version. So. Finish up this field. It's all the way up to the corner. So, up. This field. I should turn off auto save. So we're on this field. I know it's the neat. So, yep, you're 100%. And then we'll roll this guy, and we'll get a good yield off the cover crop, which we'll see. That might give us, curious to see if it gives us a double fertilization state come next year when we cultivate the down A and sorghum in. So we'll see how that plays out. That'll be pretty cool. So. Alright, on the road, Europe, some beacons on. 4 ways if you're in America. But beacons here in the foreign countries, in France, on Pallegney. I do a bit of mixed driving in cab, out of cab. Sometimes I do play out of cab though, just because I like to hear the tractor sounds, see the beacon. And especially since I have the realistic exhaust modded, it's cool to see the tractor spit out different levels of exhaust based on the load you're putting on it, so it's kind of cool. A little easy, we're hitting it kind of hard with the planner and do it a little front and back wheelie mounts. So take it a little easy on the equipment. All right. This thing is pretty clean. Just get it cleaned up. Nice and shiny. Got some cool water textures for the tractors now, where the tires get wet. And you can see some kind of cool textures here and there. This is a mod, so it's not like a base game piece of equipment. So it's up to the modder how they show it, but kind of cool. You can see it on the fenders and the wheels. The mud system works the same way with the deformable ground and stuff, so it's kind of cool. It's little touches that are appreciated. Still kind of getting used to FS25. I do like the game. There's some stuff I miss from FS22, but it's still an extremely enjoyable game. The new features in this one is pretty cool, so I'm always happy with how Giants tries out new things, and they're not afraid to tackle bigger, better, different things, like adding in the GPS system. You can still use course play if you want, but built-in GPS is nice. It's kind of cool. Even though I know it's not super realistic with the older pieces of equipment that may or may not have a GPS system, so you don't have to turn it on. Obviously, you don't want to, but it is nice to kind of help you hit all the edges perfectly and try to keep things as efficient as possible. So it's kind of neat. And obviously, like the dirt system, if we get in close to this guy, like you can see the mud built up in the ridges of the tires and the grooves. And obviously, all over this cab, I've been using this thing all season since August non-stop, and it is dirty. So even though the Fiat that we have is 180 horsepower, I've been using the Kloss as my main field roller tool, which I could probably switch up, because honestly the John Deere you start with, I think it's the 4650, and it's only got 115 horsepower, so it's really only good for doing like the baling, the mowing, hauling the root off grain cart, stuff like that, the basic back and forth stuff, hauling the bales around. But when I switched it out with the Fiat, I didn't realize that it was either 160 or 180 horse. So I'm still going to try and maintain it as the bale mover, the mower, the tedder, like the grass work machine, the hauling workhorse, the mixer, the straw blower machine, the general yard machine, just because it's an older tractor and it just looks cool moving around like that, I think. I still do have a 1,200 kilogram double weight on the front. That's what the JD had on it, so I tried to keep everything pretty comparable besides the horsepower. I did consider going to an even older, like John Deere, like an open cab, or like the like Farmall International open cabs, but I felt like the Fiat was fitting. Fiat Agri was fitting for the French map. Even the Fiat that I can't remember which modder who has it out, but even that small 120 to 135 horsepower Fiat would probably fit on this map pretty nice. But I just like the way the Fiat Agri sounds. I like the way the wheels look. Actually, take a look at it real quick. But I mean, it's a pretty sweet little setup. It just sounds good, man. Like, cool wheel system. Just a really nice looking piece of kit. Like, I don't know, there's just something about it that looks nice. It looks a little better than a John Deere on this map. So that's what we went with. We are using universal auto load with the bale trailer. I hate bale stacking and bale grabbing. Besides like farmyard moving and stuff like that on the field, it's just too time consuming. So we are using the base class 450 Evian that came with the map, and it's 620 Vario header for your cereal crops like canola, wheat, soybeans, all that, and then obviously we have the corn header for our corn, which we're just going to run as corn for now. May switch it to forage at some point just to have a different feed for the cattle, a different version of silage, because this map actually is equipped with some pretty heavy duty bunker systems. You got 2 bunkers right here on the back side of the farm, decent size, and you got 1 big drive-through bunker here. So I've gone with bales wrap for silage instead of a bunker with compaction, just because this is easier. We have a pretty big grass field and we had a baler, so to start. Yeah, and then the chickens free roam, which is kind of cool. You go underneath the wheels and you run them over. Kind of not realistic, but there's one of our calves now, probably waiting for some straw bed and TMR, which is coming here pretty quick. So yeah, pretty simple setup. Kept the pickup truck. Do love the international. Nice look. So yeah, pretty cool little setup here. Nice little farm. Got our plow, our cultivator, a mulcher. So this is our canola field, which is now rolled. The 100% yield bonus and 100% fertilized. Versus wheat, sorry. This is a 0.64 hectare field. And then over here where we're currently rolling is our canola field. And this guy is a little bit bigger, I think, than our wheat field. Yeah, it's 1.41 hectares, 0.56 total land area, but the arable or farmable section is 1.41 hectares. So yeah, we got a nice little setup. Cornfield back there on the other side of the bunkers, which will be ready to harvest next month with our soybeans. So looking forward to that harvest. Actually, now this guy's on a headlands. Let's try steering assist with no lines. Let's see how that works. Okay, cool. So it locks in. There we go. Nice. Finishes up ourselves. Although I do Actually, now that I think about it, I do have a mod, I think, that makes the workers a little bit less expensive than they are by default. So I guess that's considered a little bit cheaty, I guess. But I know in FS22 they had a mod where you could set the wage yourself. So I guess once it comes to this FS25, I'll probably use that. Because with that, I would, like whenever it's like an American map or European map, I would look at the average wage for like a hired help for the area, since a lot of these maps are based on realistic areas. So I would try to geographically wage match my workers so that I paid a realistic scale of cost. It's all weirdly enough. Actually, it is all done on it, so some weird gapping going on. Some fertilizer in the line, but as far as the field's considered to the game, it's 100% fertilized and rolled, so I'll take it. So we'll drive off the field, and then we'll get this guy folded up. Take this up through the cover crop field, which is our sorghum field, just north of, where's that at? That's just on the back side of the shop here, and the co-op up the hill. So we'll go up here and get that field rolled out. And then we're done with the roller for this season. And then we'll work on some contracts, make some cash in the off. Well, actually next month in November, we're going to have to harvest the cornfield and the soybean field, and then do field prep there. And then just after that, we'll work on contracts through December, January, because we'll lay a cover crop down on the cornfield as well, because that can't get planted until April and May, like the sorghum. So we'll put down a cover crop to get the field covered and protected to keep from the elements winter. Keep the soil erosion down. Farmers in real life do, just to keep it as realistic as possible. Yeah, then after that, we'll help our out with work. I know I have better contracts installed. Can't remember if there's a mod that does like the more realistic equipment per contract. But either way, we'll probably borrow all the equipment on contracts just to keep our maintenance costs down. Because the loss you take borrowing the equipment isn't that bad. I mean, maybe for fertilizing, we'll use our own equipment and just go that route. But everything else, whether it's rolling, cultivating, plowing, harvesting, just borrow equipment, baling, mowing, stuff like that. I want to put the wear and tear on our machines. So since we're down to about 40,000 euro, and we still have, you know, our general operating costs to consider and worker fees. I don't want to run too low and get into the negative, so which can happen fast. Which does remind me, I need to update the economy on this to norm because I have it set to easy, and I want to change it up to normal. We do have, if you're familiar with the game, we have crop destruction turned on. We do plowing, field stones, weeds. Stuff is turned on lime. So I want to bump the economy up to normal, just to give this a little bit more of a challenge. So let's get this going here. We'll actually change that setting really quick after we save. So change that to normal. You good, bud? Oh, that's why. So yeah, actually, this field right here is our sorghum field, like I said, for next year, but it is right next door to our soybean field there. Like I said, the shop is right down there to the right-hand side down the hill, and straight ahead is the local co-op. So, and I was looking at sale prices for what we have. We have about 10,000 liters of canola, which will sell around December because that's the peak of its price. So we'll see where we're going to take that to sell it. Then we have the almost 19,500 liters of sorghum. Excuse me. We'll move that in January. And then, of course, we'll have soybeans, which we will store until July of next year to get some high pricing, about 22, we'll just say 2,000 euros. And then the corn, when we finally get that harvested, we'll be able to sell it off in January as well, for just shy of 1,000 euros. I think we have some wheat too. Yeah, we do about 7,000 liters, which we'll get rid of in January. Not a crazy high price. May hold on to that just to feed the chickens, because they take wheat. So with its low selling price, it's probably the lowest selling price crop we have. We'll probably hold on to that for feeding chickens. So we're not really missing out. I mean, we could sell it and maybe plant barley instead. It's cheaper to plant, also cheaper to sell, so we're not missing on the extra 100 euros we could make up the wheat. Excuse me. So we'll just kind of play it by ear. We're still getting started on this map. It's still our first year on the farm. And eventually we'll be doing cheese. As you can see here, this map, weirdly enough, for being a French map, which I wasn't very, I mean, I guess maybe I'm just not cultured enough, but they do have buffalo milk. Yeah, I could have bought buffalo instead of regular cattle. So maybe down the road we'll switch to buffalo, just to have something different than the usual suspects. That's why I went with the goats. because they produce milk that we can turn into cheese as well. As you can see here, goat milk with goat cheese. So, actually, speaking of that, I wonder. Let's look. Now I'm wondering if I made a mistake and might have to take a loan out to fix my problem. So let's take a look at the cow stall. Let's look. Yeah, see, you got your brown Swiss, which is what I have there now. See, they got the water buffalo. I wonder, are they cheaper than the Swiss? No, expensive by a couple $100. Well, it's the same price. So, you know what? Since I haven't fed these yet, let's do this just to try something different. Let's sell all 6 of these. Get back just shy of 2,000 euro. And we'll buy up 6 of these premium water buffalo. 6 months old. Not old enough to reproduce yet, which is why I only have 6. I'll let the stall fill up to a certain point, sell them off, just to maintain a healthy level of feeding so that it doesn't get overwhelming. Should have probably just transported them myself because it cost me an extra 65 euro per buffalo. But that's just another piece of equipment I gotta lease and do all that stuff. So I'll take the 665. But anyways, yeah. So we're starting with 6 each, and just letting them reproduce. I didn't change the chickens. They started with the 8. They'll do the same thing and reproduce. I'll probably never have more than, I don't know, I think the highest number I'm thinking is, I don't know, 20. That seems like a lot. Maybe not. I know from what I've seen of other people playing this map, because I love watching people play farms. So the cheese production isn't crazy fast. So I may end up having to sell some of the milk as well. Just because I'll probably overwhelm the cheese production unless that's been updated in later versions of the map. But I know, like, watching the Farm Sim guy and Ogsy, they were massively outpacing the production chain for the cheese. So they ended up having to sell the milk, which, I mean, made them a ton of money. I mean, we can look at that while this guy's working. Let's see. So, goat cheese, I mean, almost 3,500 euro on normal, which is insane. But I mean, the milk price bottled and just straight up, just as milk, not even bottled, you're talking 4,000 to 5,000 euro just as goat milk. That's not even. I mean, look at this is the standard milk. But then the buffalo milk. I mean, yikes! I mean, we'll say 5,000 to 7,000 euro at peak. It's insane. So, I mean, worst case we outpace, we sell the milk. Once this guy finishes up this field, return roller, bring this guy back to the farmyard, swap the weight to the back, put the front loader attach on, make some TMR, just suck at so you'll get to see that, and then blow some straw down for the buffalo, make the TMR for the feed, because they feed just like standard cattle, cows. Cows, since they're dairy technically, not cattle. Cattle's for beef. Anybody who does it for a living will roast me for saying it wrong. So, yeah. So we do that. We'll get the goats. Actually, how are they doing? So the goats still have a ton of water. They don't really need grass because the meadow was 100% effective at over almost 75,000 liters. And it doesn't look like they touched the meadow grass. It's still super tall in the pen. But I might throw some grass in their feeder. Maybe I'll let them eat the meadow down first, and then I'll give them grass after that so the meadow can grow back naturally. The cow stalls, the water buffalo do the same thing. They've moved through their meadow a little bit faster. They have about 14,000 liters that they can eat that they're working on right now. They don't require water on this map. So we'll get them some TMR to get them 100% food effectiveness, which will bump their productivity way up. And then we'll give them some straw, which will let us get manure and slurry from them, which, like I said, we'll either use or sell, just depends. As you can see, we're already starting to get about 300 liters of slurry in the tank already. The manure won't come until we straw bed, so get there. So that's next on the list of fun things to do. So all right, this guy is done. So kick on the machine. 10 mile an hour. Get this thing off the field. Take this roller back to the shop and return it. They don't care if it's dirty. And then we'll go make us some feed. So, go off the road here, turn our beacons on. Let's go. Try and stay out of our neighbor's very weedy and dead? Is that dead? What is that? Mustard. Very withered mustard field. Full of weeds. So, who knows? Maybe we'll get lucky and we'll pull a contract on that field for cultivating and plowing. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see what the next month brings us. I guess, realistically, I probably could work a couple contracts this month until time is up. Try to go to bed around 1,900 hours. Might as well utilize the majority of the day instead of wasting it just sleeping. Try to make things more interesting, doing a variety of field work and stuff. So we'll see what contracts are available after we do some feeding and bedding. So in here, this guy over to this trigger point here. Okay. Swing around. And anything. Not the sharpest turn radius on this thing, but pretty sharp tractor. The canopy's pretty cool. So let's go here in the shop. Turn this piece of equipment. There we go. So, head back to the farm. Actually, we'll do a quick wing swap here. So we'll drop that guy there. I do not have the stick hookup mod installed. I go back and forth on that one. I like it, but I don't like it. I was doing like a realism series where I was doing like a storyline and filming videos like that. I would probably go along and do that, but since I'm just doing streams right now, kind of see what interests. All right, thanks, buddy. I can maybe we'll do something like that down the road, maybe. So we'll see. So far, this map is really cool. There's a lot of cool features we haven't got to see yet since we're focused on field work for our farm, but there's a really cool there's our folks. So there's just a lot of cool features in the map. It's really pretty. That's why I kind of want to turn on the realistic weather mod because I think dense fog would be really cool on this map, especially early morning, the way the sun rises already on this map. I think it would look really cool. So it might be something we turn on here in the future, and just deal with the crop moisture and during harvest affecting yield, which sucks. But I mean, if we went to like say 2x or 3x speed, maybe even 5x speed, and then switched it into like 3-day months, you probably would be able to deal with the crop moisture a little better, maybe a little less frustrating. So let's take out, we don't need all 21 bales, we'll take out 2 and see where that gets us. Mixer, which excuse the cough. Turn this guy on. Turn the mixer wagon on. That guy run. Our straw bales dropped in first. It's realistically, I guess, since I decided to stack them. Stab one. Pick it up. And then we'll stab the second. Side by side. That. Not the prettiest, but it does the trick. So, let's see how it's. It's got barely gets it in there, so makes me wonder if I should get a telehandler stick, I guess. So there's our straw. Over here. I think it's if you just do 2, 2, 2. So we have silage right now. It's ready. So I think we can come in. Nice. So the same thing here. Super smooth, but hey. It's because I'm a legendary farmer. Doesn't mean things are always pretty, so things just get done. Let's get these two guys dropped in. Let's see what happens with the mix. Just should get some mineral feed as well to really make this a super effective mix, but pretty pretty there. So we'll drop 2 of those in. Now I believe it's hay. So we'll drop 2 hay bales. Let's see what the mix shakes down to. I've looked up 1,000 ways to do this, and everybody has a different method. So honestly, it would just be easier to smack the F12 button and fill in the mix wagon that way, but you know, just try and like I said, not go the DJ Gallham route and get cheaty. All those guys that are on their worst days are gonna do better than I can, so hey, I'm not complaining. We'll get there. So let's do one more silage and one. Also, there's more silage. It's just got to put it in different categories. Oh, I'll put it by itself. That's also. So it stacks similars and puts opposites next to each other. Okay. I hope that wagon's not full. That's going to be annoying. That is forge, and I have hooked that up. So, this is fun. So now I got to figure out where to sell forage, or does anybody eat forage for fun? Nope. Silage. Should have just bought a frickin' TMR mixer mod. Can we sell forage? That'd be great. Does anybody want forage? Oh, even better. Maybe it's in the miscellaneous category. Let's see. Nope. Well, shucks. Well, let's see. 500 a liter. There. Let's do this the easiest way. This is roughly because it makes 125 centimeter bales. Excuse me. Yeah, probably should start with the silage and the hay first. So let's, at least we got enough bales, even though I fudged it. Let's do, let's take this guy here. Dump this. Let's turn it. Yeah. Dump this in the bunker for now. See if we can just start over. Cool. So, alright, let's try this again. See if we can. To mess this up. Let's get caught. This big old forage wagon. Not good for sharp turns. Back this bad boy up. There we go. There's our slurry pit. That's where the manure will be once we get some. Our chicken over. Let's mix her back here. Perfect. So. Alright. Start with that's weird. Use the small part. Grab that guy. See, we're learning together, so I forgot that you should start with the hay and silage first, since it's the bulk of the feed. The straw, or I should say, it's the main ingredients of the feed. The straw is just for bulk, so. I guess when you're using all three, should be like a 25-25 split, I guess, or whatever. Does it stop stuff in it? It's slowly taking these in. Okay, let's drop those in. There we go. sit on straw and see what happens. Just wasting all our hard pre-made bales. So, these guys, see what happens next. I should go grab some mineral feed too. That I definitely never even messed with. So I feel like you could probably add too much. There's really no like way to slow feed that into the mixer because you have to hold the pallet up above it. And I don't think, I mean, maybe I'm crazy. I probably have to watch somebody do it and see if it only takes like the 7% that the mix calls for. Okay, well, alright. More silage. I'm gonna waste all these, you watch, and then my cows are gonna starve. Or I'm gonna have to buy TMR and no grog. But good thing the grass field's huge, so I split half in the hay, and the other half I split between silage bales and grass bales for the goats. So like I got like 21 in each, roughly, give or take. So there should be plenty in here. So I'd rather have a stockpile than wasting it. So we still have to make it into the winter months and stuff. I don't think, not sure if we'll get more harvest off that field before winter. We should technically with the way grass works in this game, but so one more hay bale should get everything copacetic. I think I will have made my first freaking proper TMR mix. So, fingers crossed. Alright, let's see what happens. Ooh. It's TMR, so we can drop one more hay in to balance it out. Maybe. See if I, well, now I'm just playing with fire, but we'll see. I do have less hay because I split the field in half, but which is ironic because it's technically the bulk you need with the silage. So we'll see. I mean, if you get 2 harvests off that field a year, that should be a ton of feed, or enough mixable feed for what we got going on. So hopefully that wasn't like a weird small hay bale and I'm gonna screw myself, but we'll find out. pretty good mix though, so might leave this guy somewhere that doesn't get him. But, well, he's only 20%. So I think I'm gonna drop. Let's see what happens. Yeah, see, that I can live with. That's not a bad mix. I've seen worse. It's still TMR, and I'm pretty sure this guy's still dark here. 91% folks. Give me just a sec. I'll be right back. Alright, let's go feed our water buffalo. See, I'm debating on this guy. So front weight looks cool. I also don't like it. Europe is different than the United States, where the front weights are on 3-point attachment. They're not like a generally owned weight system like U.S. tractors have, where the weights are like these sliding lock weights on the front. They're kind of like how they are you see here, where they're 3-point attach. It kind of looks funky on this tractor, so I kind of want to sell it and then put this thing in the shop and adjust the weight to a built-in weight. And I kind of want to drop the engine size down to the 150 because I feel like I'm cheating by about 180 horsepower tractor. So let's feed these guys. Spit this out. Start doing some feed. I imagine we'll probably use this whole wagon full. We do, so where does that put us with these guys? Enough that I don't feel like mixing up the wagon. 21,000 liters. One more wagon and feed about myself. Let's actually let's do this because this is gonna annoy me and I don't like it. So take the cheaty way into vehicles. Scroll through. There's the weights. We're gonna sell that. Take a little loss. That's fine. I don't care. Excuse me. Take this guy into the shop. Right there. Shut off. Here. Let's do some adjusting. It's been so customize. Drop this down to 160 horse. There's the so go weight holder. Go front weight. No. See, I think that looks better. Not a typical look for European tractors, but what's the wheel setups on this? Just see. Wide tires, rear narrow twins. Narrow twins. Technically not narrow because it has standard and a narrow. So let's keep the wheels the same. Yeah, that looks better. One thing I think I don't like is the exhaust. I'm kind of curious what the other Fiat tractor that's not a Fiat Agri, it's just a Fiat looks like. The only thing I don't like is the exhaust. It's not under like very heavy. That smoke being so black is. Never seen an actual Fiat Agri running in the wild, so maybe they do coal that bad, but it is a little off in my book. So maybe I'm wrong. Sue me, not sure. I mean, if you know, tell me. Curious. So Speedier Gonzalez here. Whoops. Wrecking into stuff. 100-year-old frick concrete walls, just destroying them. Let's see if we can do bale balance here. Fancy. Just plop. So she's 100% hay, silage bales, it's out. Now they must have been a weird small and catch that nebula out, so cut open. Stabby. Could just get the auto loading in spike too, which is kind of cool. Eliminates the stab or the weird physics where the bale spike doesn't go all the way through for some reason. So maybe that's something in the future I'll add to. So things up. Into it, dum dum, drop, and then drop. Beautiful. Let's hit this with a single straw bale. Let's see what kind of bulk that gives us. So, we want to go with a 5,000 liter full boy. It was just the hay that was weird. So. I'll try and save some of these two for bedding. I don't want to use too much for feed, but gotta do both. So. Let's see, there's an off grab. Let's try to get that second better. Tilt, lift. Yep. Perfect. Take this to the middle. Not a bad mix, you know. Might be figuring something out here. It could be better. I'm sure there is some science between bale size and TMR mix ratio, but figure out what we can do with the forage. Look at that. I don't remember what exactly that gets used for. Probably production of some kind they could use it for. I didn't see anything smelling, so right out by ear. Watch the animation. This should be about halfway for food, which should be enough between this and the meadow. I'm no scientist, but that looks pretty good. So you got 42,000, almost 43,000 liters of TMR versus is there 14,000 liters of meadow. So that should be what they need. So go ahead and just pull this guy up. don't have a lot of yard storage, so keep that covered from rain as generally realistic as I can. Swing over here. The grab, damage it. Back up to it. This is our straw blower. So this takes 2 bales max at a time. So pull this up, just like we did. Actually, what we'll do is spin around so we don't have to take a long drive around. So take the short path. Loading zone. Stop. Turn on the mixer. First before I get froggy and jump in there. So 2 of these guys, I'm pretty sure is all that can handle. It up. It's almost like I know what I'm doing. I promise you I don't. So I just have found this game extremely relaxing. I've been playing since FS19. That's when I really dug in. I have way too much time in this game between 22 and 19 and now 25, thousands of hours. So just about full on 2 minutes. So swing this guy around. I take a lot of bedding, honestly. We might fill them up for the straw bedding, just so we can get as much manure as possible. I'm trying to keep it as effective as possible. That's 10,000 liters of straw. Let's do, let's kick another mix in, just so it's decent and maybe with the time. Excuse me. Just pretty nasty sinus infection, I'm pretty sure. Trying to kick it on natural with just some Sinex and some basic medicine, and it has kicked my butt, but seems like we're on the upside of the hill, so fingers crossed. Let's drop a couple more straw bales. Ooh. Chicken under the wheel. Just crush them, no worries. They're pretty resilient chickens, so don't get too flustered. You run them over. Clearly he's enjoying it, so. At least in the farm sim world, they don't have to experience lava like in Minecraft, so no lava chicken, just crushed chicken. Alright, 10 fowls. liters. When that crushes, bang, there goes the dynamite. Pull this up, load it. Honestly, not that we have a ton of money, but so considering getting rid of this Fiat to a smaller tractor. Curious what our horsepower needs are for our mixed wagon and our strong wagon. More realistic exhaust. It's kind of driving me nuts. Even though I like the look of the tractor, I didn't realize the exhaust was going to be kind of so goofy. I think that's probably almost full. I'm going to look at the pen. Oh yeah, cool. Just, it doesn't even hold it for, does it hold it for 30,000 liters? Does it say? So it's a 25,000 liter capacity, so yeah, cool. Almost half full on food. Literally only 5,000 liters. That's cool. Let's turn off this mix wagon. Stop it, keep it under the auto as well. Space here. Let's look real quick. What are the horsepower capacity? So the mixer takes 120 horse, and the straw blower is only 90. So let's look. Cause I'm sure I can get a pretty penny for selling. Let's look at the small tractors. Can we get away with something in? This is only 116, so she definitely won't. We need her to run. Is there something? The Volvo? What's that got? 32 horse. It's 140 horse with the Volvo. And that's pretty French. It's a cute little guy. I know that's from the Silver Run expansion. We can put a beacons and about a 550 weight. Okay. The Ultra is always a good choice, but a little too new. This is actually a cool little. It's only 59 horse. Kind of cool little guy. What about if I went back and looked like some older JD open caps? Maybe. Nothing. They don't fall into the medium category, do they? I thought there was one base game. See, there's the 4755 and the 7810. Too big though. Yeah. Let's check. Am I just missing it? Am I crazy? Yeah, no, I'm not. I don't have. There is a mod. I swore it was a Giants mod. Let's do this. Let's detach. Attach, not attach. So let's go ahead and get rid of this guy. Because I am going to go ahead and do something different. I just don't know what yet. So let's look at Fiat Agri. So we'll sell it. I'm going to get 44 grand for it. So that's cool. So let's go down here. We'll save our game. And look at some mods. I thought there was something on their official mods, but I'm pretty sure I have all these. Yeah, besides the unlimited color config, because that messes with the prairies and plains mod. At least that I know of for now. So let's look at small tractors. Let's see there's no John Deere's here. It's only got 50 horse though. There's bigger Landini's. So John Deere got 34. A viewer, what'd she have? She's only on our borrowers. There's a Farmer, Cormac, Sater that goes up to 155, and that's more. See, there's this guy. Looks really freaking cool. It's 150 horse. Oh man, just not familiar with the modder, which doesn't mean it's a bad thing. Just six apps. There's the international. Classic New Holland. I'd like to go with something like this, like a little McCormick or an International, but they don't have enough horse. See, then you got something like, I'm sure it was in this pack. This section, I think I can find it outside of this, but I'm pretty sure it's. I think a Valtra, that's pretty French. It's 190 horse, but it's just bigger than I want it to be. I'm pretty sure it's considered a large tractor. I want something small with some good horse. Something in game, but let's do a search and do. Let's see. I'm pretty sure there's a lot. So I see Baleford pack. Let's install this. I'm curious. Just to save a little bit of time. Go here. Remove this. We're not going to drop precision farming. Let's get that. Start. Sorry about that. Wife is on her way home from a church event. She just dropped her friend off at home, so she's on her way back. So, I wonder if I can pick this up with a bale spike. Probably not. I mean, physics would tell you yes, but farming simulator not always cooperative. It's not a big bag handling bar, so it doesn't count. So we went ahead and while I was on the phone with the wife, I'm sure you saw we sold the Fiat Agri. Tried to find something a little older with enough horsepower to run everything, but there wasn't anything that I was looking for, so I went with the old school Fiat from 19, one of the starting tractors that an unknown modder with a crazy random name put on. So let's see if it makes our game explode or works. So has some pretty cool modifications. I like the look with the hood half off. That's pretty cool. I'm not gonna run it like that. I like the classic orange and white cab look. So we'll see how that goes. And then we went ahead and got the auto loading bale spike. So we'll see how this works with some grass for the goats. And then we will, if we have time before the wife gets home, we will check out what we can do with that forage mix we made on accident because I don't know what I'm doing. So we'll go from there, I guess. I wonder if there's... You can activate. Oh. Let's unload here. Unload. So, stop unloading. Activate. That's awesome. Okay, well, let's try and do. Oh boy, let's fucking stop unloading. Let's try this again. So load, deactivate. Line up the spike and activate. Yeah. No. Hey, deactivate. That's awesome. Just absolutely. It's always something interesting in farming simulator. Things don't ever go the way exactly like you think they're going to. So it always never ceases to impress and amaze at how it works. So let's go over to the goats here and get them some grass. Hopefully this just loads up without having to like shred it. I'm not sure how this feeding pen works. I'm still getting used to animals in 25, so I've focused mostly on all the arable crops. I haven't really done too much overshot animal work, so we'll see how that goes. Stop here, wait for traffic, open up our gate, check for traffic so we don't get run over, which we're holding up the road. So let's get in this pen, get out of everybody's way. Hopefully just by driving up without doing anything kind of crazy on the way, it just kind of sucks it in and it fills. That'd be great. I'd be thankful for that, but probably have to torpedo these things. Let's see what happens. Yeah or nay. Oh boy. Here we go. It's always something interesting. Gotta try and get that in the. Ooh. Oh. Okay, let's not destroy the track there. Worst case, I think I can shred these. So, figure it out. I'm stressing, so. Because I don't think. Here I am complaining about doing contracts, not destroying equipment, and I'm just ramming grass bales. Hey, look at that. I'm so smart. Foof. What a time. That sucks. Okay. Well, could be worse. Goats are happy. Let's run them over like the chickens. Even though there's only 6 of them in this giant meadow pen. You know, big deal. These guys are just gonna back up just a little bit. Money now. Drop it down. Let it just naturally go in. So something. I wonder. Let's go back to drive crazy fast. It's technically a field. Maybe a little unrealistic. Can leave the pen open. The road here. Let's see if. You know, I just look it up real quick so I don't waste my time. But let's see if I can shred the grass in a straw blower and just blow grass into the feeder. That seems a little more efficient than trying to stuff bales that barely fit into the feeding trough. So bring this over here in case this does work. Because the internet never lies. So let's take a look. There's just a bale shredder, is there? I mean, I guess you can search, which is a nice feature, so I'm sure there's a mod. There's the bio bale there, which is not what we're looking for. Is there a bale shredding mod? Not looking too bright. What do we got here? Some knockoff bale shredding mod. Grass, straw, hay, silage, chaff, and TMR. Okay, okay. There's another piece of equipment we have to buy, but what else? Yeah, so probably gonna have to. So let's do this again. I doubt this is gonna be one of those mods where I have to install it without. I doubt it's in the mod hub. This is gonna be one of those third-party site mods. Dun dun dun. Excuse me. What's that called again? Got it. Ad. No one cares. Too many ads. Too many ads. Just bale shredder. Doubt we'll get that. Bale shredder. Oh, okay. Well, a boy can dream. So, let us quit for a second, and you guys will just live in darkness for a minute. Bale shredder mod, Bale version 1.0. Load some random file off a random website. Take this guy. Got that. Folder. What's the worst that can happen, right? Like just totally crash your game or something. Big deal. Cool. Okay, let's see what happens. Appreciate everyone hanging out who has been here. If there hasn't been anybody, I still appreciate it either way. Put the streams and see how things go. So, like I said, I play this game in either way, so I am not like I'm gonna not be playing or something. So, whether you watch or not, I'm still playing. So, see if we can find this mod. There it is. Look at that guy. Let's hope it's not crazy expensive. Might have to lease it and then buy it later. So. Need to finally name this file. Something clever. Some sort of French pun. Really calling it. No. So we call it the LegenDairy. I'll stick with the namesake since we're utterly unstoppable. Alright, let's go to the shop. Just look at the mod packs, it's easier. Wait, no, it's next category after sales. Anything on sale? Well, that's cool. Could have bought that 60% off. Go figure. Okay. Where's this thing hidden at? Can you say map? Like Dora the Explorer here. What's this guy? Is this it? That's sure not it. What is that fancy thing? That's probably it. I'm just oh, there it is. I was gonna say that's the picture. Well, 35,000 euro. Let's customize. Ooh, gotta put the missions on it for sure. Lease? Oh, yeah, 1,700 euro for the lease? Yeah, for sure. So, let's grab the Fiat, detach it, take this guy down and grab it. We have the auto zoom out guy, which kind of takes you a little far. You're not doing field work. Excuse me. Yeah, looks better with the white cab here. Old school white cab. Cool features though. It's a nice looking model. It's going through some work. You can see the fans spinning in the. It's pretty cool. So hopefully this thing works out. Just cruise control and just let it ride. So hopefully this thing just shreds and then lets me spray. It doesn't just like go crazy and try and spray a bunch of material straight off the bat. Hopefully not. So tiny little baby turn signal. Ooh, still looking dapper over there. Pat. Oh, there's our bale shredder. That thing's nice looking. Got the vest in now. We can afford it. This thing is got a great turn radius. Just adjust. Oh. Lizard bale shredder. All right. Let's get this hulking piece of equipment over to field, and we'll shred there just in case this thing goes wild. So decides to spit out bales like a madman. So we'll bring 2 bales to it and shred until we fill up the feed for the goats. Not sure where the spray side is. I guess it's the right hand side because the left looks like it maybe opens up to accept a bale. Yeah, make it easier to slide in. So we'll just, based on the PTO too, so nice and close, so we can have our trigger hopefully activate if this thing works. Let's get this parked up. There we go, nice and close. So we'll leave this running. So I'm sure it has to be to work. So we'll get this guy turned on, we'll pull 2 bales out, and see what happens. So, alright, cool. Start. So, let's be careful with this again, since it's clearly sensitive. Piece of machinery here. Pick these up first, and then we'll do activate, deactivate. No, okay. Well, let's save. Wait. All right, under the ground. That's cool. Cool. There we go. A little bit easier. Alright, let's go. Ooh, watch the water trailer. Get our beacons on. Get our signal going. Out the big door. Run any cars. Pull in front of this guy who will pass us anyways if he's not turning. Which is a cool feature for traffic in this game. Because they used to just honk at you. And it was so much easier just to turn traffic off instead of dealing with it. So that's a nice cool feature which was introduced in the farm sim mobile game in between 22 and 25. So kind of a cool like feature, like to introduce to like the mobile community first as like a taste test as to like, hey, here's what we can do. It's kind of cool. So like I give Giants props there. Kind of neat. So pretty sure we can only drop times. Just pick one up. Top like so. And that counts as in. Yeah, look at that. A little close to the pen, not quite realistic because I'm a little close, but still cool. Still a cool touch. All right. What's that put us at in the coat pasture? These guys can take a lot of grass, so. I probably could drop 2 bales in at a time, side by side, and I'll just slowly feed. So. Oh. Yeah, well, that's what you get for being too souped out there, bud. So, there we go. And it's just auto shredding. Look at that go. Cool. Oh, watch the fence line in, bro. Oh, turn our beacons off. We're back on the road. Signal. We go. Yep, no, I don't want to do acoustic plug on. It's at the speed, so I can't do it. Cool. So I know that works. These bales will shred. Honestly, it's like as well. It's like you might as well load the bale trail there and haul them all the way over there and just take them off the trailer instead of taking them 2 at a time. But with the goats, the meadow is 100% effective. So I think what I'm gonna do for now is call that good. Because I don't think they're gonna need more than that with the meadow until at least the meadow's gone. So I'm gonna leave that the way it is, honestly. And bring ahead and turn that bale shredder. Attach this. Let's take this over. Spin it around. Take over to get some fuel maintenance and washed up. So this guy right here, shut up. Jump over to the Fiat. Get this. Let's actually take this. Vehicles. This is alphabetical, so lizard bale shredder. We'll return that for now. Cool. Whoops. Need to jump back into worker mode, not setting a destination. We're gonna drive this bad boy home ourselves. So. Yep, there we go. meet up. Can't have our escape artists, who are escape artists anyways, getting out because I left the gate open. So, drive this back, hook it up to the trailer, and we'll clean up the cloths, repair it, which is going to hurt a few €1,000, and call it a day. Well, like I said, I appreciate anybody who did watch. If you're still watching and for some reason I can't see chat or viewers, drop me a follow. I'll be doing this pretty much 5 nights a week, maybe a little less, definitely on the weekends. But drop me a follow. Ask me any questions you want. And for the meantime, I guess we'll see you next time. Y'all have a nice night. Take it easy. Peace.